always seem to experience. Thank you so much if you've stuck around for 14 minutes past when I should have started. Ran into some technical problems. Classic. It's been one of those weeks. Seems to be a lot of one of those weeks as we get close to the holidays, but whatever. We'll get through it. I finally got up and running. Everything's working now, so we're good to go. So thank you for tuning in. This is another week of In the Studio Live. No special guests this week. I'll be doing a live mix, hopefully. I said it was from start to finish, but we'll see how far I get along depending on how many questions people have and things like that. So if this is your first time tuning in, this is an interactive weekly show, so be sure to get on the chat. Send me a message, say, hey, what's up? Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. If you make music, if you're just coming to learn some tricks to bring back to your studio, whatever, it doesn't matter. And the usual format as follows. I will be drinking a very delicious beer tonight while I do this mix. And this mix is actually I say sponsored, but it's from a really, really awesome online community called Audio Mix Club. Essentially it's a mix. Every month they have a mixing contest. It's pretty cool. You go there, you download the stems, and they have really awesome prizes. I think this month I'm literally going to enter my mix into the contest. So this month I think it's like $1,000 grand prize. So it's pretty spectacular. And the guy that runs it is Rob Morgan. He is a good friend of mine, and he is the most amazing person that I know. So super generous. He really cares about your well-being and you being a better mixer and you being creative. So, he's running this really awesome community. Make sure to check it out. It's called, again, it's the Audio Mix Club. You can find it, I'm sure. There's a Facebook group. I'll put links after the show in the show notes so you guys can check that out. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else we got going on. If you're here, warm up the chat for me. I need to know if it's working. It's here. I forgot to add all that stuff. There we go. So with that, we're going to be going into the holidays here, so I might do some more mixing ones, but I think the next few shows are going to be interviews, and they're going to be amazing. I got some really cool people lined up. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit that like or follow button on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. What's going on, Wayne? Nice of you to pop in here, man. See, Wayne's got the idea, guys. You got to give me a shout out, say hi, let me know where you're watching from and all that. So, yeah, check it out. I have a YouTube channel. It's Raytown Productions. Subscribe. The live stream goes there as well. There's also a lot of really awesome tutorials there. And if you didn't know, I have a Facebook community called the Home Studio Fast Track. That is an awesome community as well. It's a bunch of music creators hanging out, sharing tips and tricks, asking questions, and we all learn from each other. It's pretty cool. Really supportive group. So if that's something you're interested in, go to Facebook, search for Home Studio Fast Track. And again, I'll put all this stuff in the notes at the end of the day. So Wayne's watching from Arizona. Awesome. Way warmer than it is here in DC, man. That's for sure. All right, so to get this thing rolling, we got beer can, baby. All right, so today I'm going to be drinking one of these very delicious Dogfish Head 90-minute IPAs. I'm so excited. It's a bottle. I think this might be the first bottle I've had on the live show. So, yeah. But it's going to be delicious. So, cheers to all you guys. I hope you guys are also enjoying a delicious beer. Man, I love that beer. I don't know what it is about it. I drank a lot of those when I went to school. Maybe it's like a nostalgic thing. So, what up, Mommy B? I bet it's nice and cold in Wisconsin. All right, let me bring you guys in the session. So this is, I'll give you the rough mix for the contest. There's a lot of work that needs to be done because I literally just imported all these tracks, and we're going to do some balancing. So you're really going to see the whole gambit of how to get everything up and running. Without further ado, here's this track I'll be mixing. Let's hop into it. Beer cam.
Wealthy men don't come round here anymore. In their BMWs.
Pretty cool track. Let's get to the chorus. Pre-chorus. All right, so here's the chorus. So it's a pretty cool track. There's a lot of tracks. So we have so if you can see here, we have 3 different snare tracks plus 2 sample tracks. We have kicks. We have 3 toms, cymbals. We have overheads. We have room mics, which are awesome. Love room mics. If you guys are mixing drums, make sure you do room mics because I'll show you some cool tricks. We have like a amped bass guitar. We got the bass DI. We have distorted bass. Like this is a pretty intense session. Like we have lots of different guitar tones. Then we have a bunch of vocals, a vocal stack at the end here. Like listen to this. Got a whole bunch of vocals, and then doubles. And then what else we got? We have all these different like effects, and we got some keys. Check this out. Oh yeah. So we got a lot of work to do, and so if you guys, I always start with drums. So that's where we're gonna start today because that's what I do. I think if you get a really strong foundation, like rhythmic foundation, it's gonna just set you up for success. Then you'll know how to carve everything else around it. So I'm curious if we got any music people out there, what do you guys start with? Let me know in the chat. Do you start with drums? Do you start with bass? All right, so let's just get the shells. Well, let's get the shells going first. Some people like to start with cymbals and all that, but let's just get a basic vibe going. I'm just going to jump in here. All right, let's try to get these snares, see what's going on with this. So, I like the choice of sample. So if we listen to samples, I feel like it's missing. It needs a little bit more punch, though. So what are we gonna do? So this isn't a terrible raw drum. So okay, there's a lot of different things we can do now. So let's just kind of go over some options. So we have these the snare top. This top mic is okay. There's a lot of bleed. It's definitely usable. The bottom snare sounds pretty cool, but we're getting a lot of kick bleed. So let's start there. This is kind of a weird, this is like a non-traditional approach to this, but I want to play with this a little bit. So the only thing I like about bottom snares is I just want the snap out of it, okay? So we can gate this bottom snare so that we just bring out all that sizzle, and that'll give the snare the snap it needs to cut through a mix like this. Let me just So basically, this is telling us how much gain. I'm just setting up the gate, essentially. There. See, I just want it super tight. Just a nice little snap. And then we'll boost this right here. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm feeling kind of crazy, so let's add like a little 200 hertz bump. Okay, and then the only other thing that we should do is we should look at the phase. Because we have top and bottom mic, so you're hitting it from one side, that means the snare head's going to go down on the top and it's going to go push down on the bottom. But what ends up happening is they get out of phase, and it'll cancel out all of our low end. Donnie, what's going on, man? You don't hear the music. Lies. Oh, it's because it's so quiet. Let me crank this up. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that, man. Let me just throw this on there or something. There, you probably hear that now. Yeah, I was at like minus like 25. So with the full mix, it was on the meter. I suck. There it is. All right, so hopefully that's better, guys. So you can hear I'm just trying to get it to snap a little bit. All right, so let's check the phase though. So if the wiggles look like they're going together, then we're good. And they are, for the most part. So it's probably good. Let's flip the phase anyways, though, just to check. See, it sounds kind of hollow. When you're checking for phase, all you really want to do is like listen to the low end and see where the low end drops out. If you're not listening to the low end and you're listening to high frequencies, the phase is going to be less important in the higher frequencies. You're not going to really notice it as much. I mean, you will, but if we're working with drums or something, we want them to be punchy. The secret is listening for like the low end thump of everything. So that's something just in case you guys didn't know. You can still only see me? Are you sure? Hey, we got some people from YouTube. What's going on? All right, so yeah, I'm digging this. The thing I don't like about this top snare is a little bit ringy, you know? So we have one of two things we can do. We can try to do the gating thing again, or let's just give that a shot. Do a little bit of compression. Get that gate to get rid of that ring. There it is. And then we'll just dial this back a little bit more, just so we got a little bit of life in it. All right. So I'm not really feeling this. So this is what you do. As a mixing engineer, if you didn't track it, it's a lot easier to do this. You just go, okay, Steven Slate, I'm going to replace that snare with a sample. But if you recorded it, it's a lot harder to like do that. Man, I can't even find where all my stuff are. Sorry, I just like redid all of my I just redid everything, and it's really screwing me up. So I'm just going to go with my Billy Decker one-shots. We'll blend some of this in. Holy cow. Yeah, that's brutal. We're going to need to maybe blend that a little bit. It's way too much of like a cannon, you know? Shoot. Well, let's try this. I don't even know if there's a snare. Oh, there is a snare in this group. I don't even know what happened to my... Somewhere in my files here, I have something, but I have all my good samples, but I don't know where they are right now, so we're just gonna have to deal with that later. Yeah. Oh well. It'll probably sound cool with this savage snare in it. Come on, where we are. Oh my gosh. That's a bit of an upgrade, huh? That's right. All right. So let me blend that because that is just way too much. So this is why it's always good to do a little bit of a mix on the original samples, because when you blend it, then you're starting off at a better position, right? If we just left them raw and just added the sample on top, you're taking complete garbage or a completely unpolished snare, putting it with a hyper polished snare, and it doesn't really work that well. But if you take the time to polish up your snare a little bit and then put the samples on it, it just really will come together. Honestly, 50-50 is probably about the right thing to do for this. There's just too much ring on the initial snare for me. And it might sound cool in context, so we'll get there. We just got to quickly throw some sort of sound together, and then we'll back it off and then try to dial in the right vibe. So what's up, Kyle? Thanks for popping in, man. So were these samples used on Nickelback? Is that what I'm hearing? So this is just a clipper. I'm just trying to take off the really aggressive transient. Okay, cool. Let's start compressing all these snares together now. And you know what? Let's bring all the snares in. Let's see if those samples help. I think we should take one of the samples and just kind of dial it in underneath a little bit. I don't think we need both. I just love the punch. Oh, I want to be Nickelback sample set. It's probably, this snare is it's stupid right now, but I love it. That's my style, is way over the top snare sounds. All right, so, and this is going to push it right over the top. So I really bite into my snares really, really hard because you can dial in the attack. All right, I'm going to get that zoom lens here. We can dial in the attack to let the slam come through the mix. And then when you bite in really hard with a compressor, you get this cool little volume automation at the end. And if you time it right, and if your samples or your drums have enough room tone to them, you get this swelling effect, and it makes the snare sound larger than life. It's like this huge explosion that you can pull out of the snare tracks if you time your compressors right. So I shot out a ton of different compressors, and one of my favorites was this FabFilter Pro C2. You could just really pull out some crazy punch if you put it on the punch mode. Big surprise there. And then I do 4-to-1 ratio, and then 30 milliseconds roughly is around the sweet spot. But just one more thing I want to point out is that not all attack times are universal. It's a manufacturer thing. So it doesn't mean anything in reality. So 30 milliseconds on this compressor is not going to be 30 milliseconds on a different compressor, because they all react differently. So start around 30. You can go up to 60 if you need to, go down to 15 if you need to, whatever. Just, dial it in so you feel that punch. And then you can literally just watch the waveform or listen for it to be in beat with the song. And then that's going to give you that cool effect that I'm talking about. So let's dig in more. Yeah, that's about right. But like, man, that sounds stupid now. But that's how my snares sound. Cool. If it gets too crazy, I like to throw a tape compressor on there. And this basically just chills that transient out, while at the same time it like thickens it up a little bit. All right, cool. We heard that snare way too many times. Cool. All right, let's get some kick drums now. Oh my God. All right, check this out. Let me just show you the different sounds we got, because this is kind of a cool thing. But first, message from Dogfish Head. Awesome, delicious beer. Cheers. I always joke that one day I'm going to get a beer sponsor. I'm feeling it. It's going to happen, guys. All right. Check out these samples. So we have, this is the kick in. Sounds okay. Kick out. This almost sounds like a condenser to me. And there's way too much bleed. I'm not even gonna use this. This sub kick is wild. Check this out. Like, that is awesome. I want to know if this is really a microphone. I want to know what one it is, because that is cool. Like, there's so much bass and it rejects so much noise. And then here's a kick sample. It's just like all rooms, but we want to turn that way down. I don't like huge rooms in my kicks and get kind of crazy. All right. So we got to turn that way down. All right, let's see if we can clean this thing up. Let's start with just like a regular old EQ here. See what we're working with. Wow, I mean, there's like no mids. We really don't have to do a whole lot. So there is this like typewriter-y kind of sound, this paper thing. It's usually around 2K. Hate it. But it's right there. For whatever reason, I just don't like that. But that cleaned it up pretty much, right? Before and after. Crazy what a tiny bit of EQ will do. Well, not really tiny, but all right, let's gate this one too. You know what? Let me show. I've been using that SSL a lot. Let me show you something else that's even cooler. Pinot Grigio. Man. So, how do you say your name? Is it Grammy? Or is it like some... I'm just so bad at pronouncing everything. Spell it out for me phonetically, because I suck. Check this out. This is a cool trick if you guys don't know about this. So you could do it that way. Graham. Got it. Cool. Grammy. Wow, I suck. All right. I probably had this thing on my face like most of the time, but whatever. So let me share this cool thing with this multi-band. What's up, Sean? Thanks for popping in, man. If we put this in expand mode, we can tighten up the different area. It's like a gate, but it's like multi-band gate, if you want to think of it like that. So basically, what you can do is I do suck, man. Sean, what's going on tonight, man? I seen you've been hustling in the studio. All right, so check this out. You do super fast attack in expand mode, and what this does is, and you set the range really low. And essentially what this is doing is it'll return the volume to normal when it detects something at the threshold, okay? So it's like a compressor, except the opposite. So instead of compressing something down when it exceeds the threshold, it's going to have the volume way low until it hits threshold, and it's going to jump up to normal volume. And you can adjust attack and release time to clean up that bleed in certain regions. So like this kick drum has a lot of cymbal bleed and stuff. We can selectively lower just the high frequencies and gate those out. And then we have just way more control over every aspect of the process doing it this way. So I don't think you ever need to buy a gate ever again. Just use like something like Pro MB or any type of multiband compressor that has this gating or it has an expansion feature, and it just works. So yeah, so Sean says one of the menus struggling. Dude, the pandemic, this thing is insane. I know. I'm very, very fortunate that I'm not 100% relying on my studio income, or it would be very, very difficult right now for me. But no, the session wire stuff's really cool. You should talk about that a little bit. So basically it's like, Sean, I don't know if you're I don't think you're part with a company, but you've been in there since like the beginning of session wire, right? And it's basically like a remote recording system for your DAW, right? Is it essentially, am I saying it right, or am I just totally screwing this up? But check that out. Listen how tight we got it before. And if we want more of that room, we can just change the release. Or tight. Like, that's amazing. Like, what gate allows you this much control? You know, I don't know. Cool. Dude, session wire is really cool, man. And I know Sean's been doing a lot of this stuff. We talked about this. We were talking to each other on the phone maybe, man, it's got to be over a year ago at this point, when you were like just starting to get into it. All right, time to sample replace the kick. All right, yeah, so Sean just says you could use it for remote recording, collaboration, virtual mixing and mastering. That's cool. That's super cool. You should be the spokesperson, man. Oh, sweet. That's awesome. So the plug-in version is basic. So then you just throw a plug-in and then you can send the audio from the session over. Is that the idea? You put on like the master bus? Here are my kicks. Thank goodness. Oh, just kidding. I don't even know. Oh, did it crash? Oh, no. I'm going to have to, let's delete that instance before it crashes my session. All right, let's try this one more time. Nice. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna look at that as soon as I have a chance. Let's just make... These are all metal kick drums, but I don't care. Let's just try it. Oh, here we go. This one sounds pretty gnarly. Oh my God. We're just going over the top with our drums today, since I just really am struggling to find my samples. Whatever. It's all good. Sometimes you just gotta improvise. Wait, Billy Decker's probably got some. Let's see what he's got in the kick department. Here we go. It's probably insane. Oh my God. We're gonna have to definitely blend these. Oh man. That's kind of dumb. I kind of dig it. There we go. Now it's adding, this is like giving it all the stuff that I wish it had before. And I'm done with you, JST clip. There's a weird glitch in it where you can't bypass it and it screws everything up in your session. Nope. I'm gonna stick with this clipper. If you guys haven't heard of Boz Digital, you should check them out. Pretty reasonable plugins and they sound pretty awesome. Let's get a little bit more sub in here. Cool. All right, so you hear that? We got some double kicks, some double triggers happening. So we got to slow this down, re-trigger speed. It's probably because there's so much sub from this, whatever this sub kick is. So we can actually filter that out right here. That's probably not a bad idea. So this is just a side chain, by the way. Oh, you guys can't even see this. I suck. I'm really dropping the ball tonight. But so side chain is right here. So if we don't want, so we don't necessarily have to use this re-trigger speed, but you can clean up all that low end that's causing this double trigger. So any really fast, flubby stuff, just boop, right there. Yeah, I normally snaring drives me crazy, but for more rock stuff like this, I think you're exactly right. In context, it's gonna sound pretty cool, I think. If it sucks, I'm gonna go in there and pull out 30 dB and kill that. But or use Soothe or something to just clean that up. All right, let's get those toms in. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not a huge. Maybe it's because I'm not a drummer, but I don't really care about how my toms sound. I just want them loud. So there's like two things I'll do. I'll just make sure that the low end doesn't get crazy, and then I add a little air, and then throw an optical compressor on it. Call it a day. That's like too much air. All right, let me see. Let's get like a tom. Cool. Good enough for me. They do need a little bit of air though. So let's do that. Let's make them like give it a little bit of space. And so with toms, I don't think the best dude, Sean, this is amazing. Do this expand thing on toms, and it lets you perfectly dial in the low end decay of your toms. Listen, it's amazing. So you can adjust if you want it faster, tighter, like less bass, no rumble, right there. Well, if my buffer would ever catch up. See, so that's super tight. You just throw the release on there, and then it'll bloom a little bit. Perfect. Volley, what's up, my man? Good to see you, homie. Everybody say hi to Stereo Hanger if you're on Twitch. Actually, you could say hi to him on any platform because he'll see it in the live feed. All right. In terms of adding space, like long, lush reverbs, halls, and plates don't really work. That's more of a weird, like ambience thing. It's hard to identify the location of something. But if you use like something where it's almost only early reflections, like this, like true verb, and you get rid of the reverb and you just leave the early reflections, that'll actually give the toms space. Because right now they're too dry because it's like all samples. So if we just listen to just the toms. Now they're actually having a little bit of sense of space. And then I guess we could put maybe a little bit of some sort of like reverb on it. Just for fun. Just to see. There. That might be too much. Something like that. That sounds kind of cool.
Is gone. Some say that's progress. Money.
Something's sound. Oh, it's because everything's all not balanced yet. All right, so now I brought in the overheads. This is where we're gonna have. This is very interesting now. Okay. The issue I have. Let me just pan these. Check. I want to show you. This is a common problem that happens in mixing all the time, and if you don't know how to navigate this, it can really screw things up because the majority of my drum tone comes from my overheads and my rooms, especially my rooms. That's like 40 to 50% of my entire drum sound. So rooms are very important to me, and I want to show you. So here are the overheads. It's not really crash. This is a pair of overheads. Okay, let me, sorry, I'm gonna have to crank this up because you guys will not be able to hear this. All right, so when you're listening to this pair of overheads, I want you to listen for where the kick and snare are in the mix. Is it centered? Is it pulled to one side? Where is it? It's pretty well centered. Like they did a really good job. It's probably an XY pair because it is like dead center. And if you don't know if something is centered or not, you can't tell. Something you can do is you can pull up, if you have a way of doing this, you just mono the mix when it's playing. And actually, you guys should be able to hear this, so I'll do this. And listen for if the snare moves around when you switch between mono and stereo. If it doesn't move at all, that is dead center mono. And it's a really easy way to check. So let me pull this back up. Oh, you know what? You can't hear that. Duh. I'm so dumb. But you'll be able to hear this. Let me do that again for you guys because it's a cool thing to know and understand. I think it's super helpful for fixing like a bad image in a song. Mono. Here we go. All right, check this out. So I mean that snare is not moving. The kick is not moving. So it's like you know it's center if you can go between mono and stereo, but check out these rooms. Love you too, homie. Hey, cheers. 90-minute tonight. 90-minute Dogfish Head. Delicious IPA. It's super malty. Like way maltier than I ever remember it being. Like it's almost not like an IPA. All right, let's go to these rooms. This kind of broke my heart when I heard these. You see the problem? Let me turn this up just in case you can't hear it. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Try, like, if you had headphones on, try to tell me where the snare is. It's like you can't figure out where it is. It should be mono, right? It should be center, because that's the foundation of everything. So what are we gonna do? There's something we can try. I think it's this. Yeah, it's this. So we can kind of fix the image using this tool. It's kind of crazy. I'm gonna try just to make it more correct, I guess is the word. I'm just gonna try to get that snare to be as center as possible without screwing everything else up. So this is like a lot of weird psychoacoustic stuff. You can't do what I'm doing by using a panner. Like it's a lot more than that. And yeah, this is pretty insane. It's like 45 degrees out of phase. So honestly, that's, I think, a big improvement. Let's bypass that. So I will say, though, we're kind of messing with how the drums were oriented, because right, like the original perspective of this drum kit is it's audience perspective, but I hate that. So I'm okay with it being like inverted, where the hi-hats are on the left side now. So we'll try using this and see if it helps after it gets compressed and we do all this stuff. Having it not corrected could add some really cool space to it, but I'm worried based on how, just hearing it, how I have a hard time just imagining a drum kit. I think that's going to be a bigger problem. Okay, so together. Toms, kick. Not digging the kick sample at all. Let's get rid of that. Where is that? There is a giant tail. Oh, thanks, Billy Decker. Whoopsie. All right, we gotta kill some of that. It's just too much. So if you didn't know, you can go to this curves tab and you can dial in the decay of your snares. Pretty important. All right.
How it goes, where we move toward the sea to be.
Oh man.
But all use of waves and sound.
We got a lot of work to do. And I'm just like, I'm taking way too much time on this. I should just be flying through it. Let's start hustling here. All right. I'm just going to try to do this as fast as possible to catch up. All right, let's clean up these cymbals. So I don't want to add any more brightness. It's already pretty bright, but there is a little bit of it's a little harsh, right? Where is it? Like in this range right here, this screaming frequency. Let's throw that on there. All right, so I actually just did a review on this. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. Waves just dropped this new plugin called RS124. I didn't like it at first, but after I made the video, I like fell in love with this thing. It sounds super cool on drums. I should probably turn that down. Sorry about that. But we need to... There's like too much flub. We're going to have to clean this up a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to just not respond right. All right. We got this weird ring from the kick drum. Let's try to find that. Sorry, Sean was right. That ring needs to go. And here's the ring on the kick. Fundamental. Oh, listen to that. That all needs to go away. Otherwise, it'll never sound tight. And personally, I like to have a really dark sounding room. Because I compress like to stupid amounts with compressors, and it'll bring out all the ringy, terrible, harsh crap. So if you don't clean that up, you're doomed. So now we have this cool pumping thing going. It's still got a bunch of like mud. You gotta be careful because you cut too much of this crap out, you lose your stereo image. Which is exactly what's happening. That's a little bit better. Let's see what we can do with the cymbals. I got rid of a lot of that stuff. All right. What else we got? How you guys doing tonight? You hanging in there with me? By the way, if you're new, if you just popped in, I want to point something out. I got these tracks from Audio Mix Club. So it's a really cool like online mixing community. You can join, and they have monthly mixing contests. And this month's prize, if you win, they have beginner and advanced, which is really cool. I love that idea. So you don't have to be the best mixer in the world. You still win a lot of cool stuff. And Rob gives out free plugins and gear just because he's a nice dude. So honestly, if you sign up for it, you'll probably make money because of all the stuff you're going to get. It's cool. There's a lot of really awesome mixers on there. And everybody, shares what they're doing and their tips. And it's a cool community. Check it out. It's called Audio Mix Club. Man, are we ever going to get a decent drum sound? I'm dropping the ball tonight. We need more dry shells in the mix. So let's get those going. Holy cow. Holy cow, let's turn that back down. So it's super hard mixing drums live because the way I work is I add gain and volume the entire way. And so I have to change all my plugins and things so that you guys can hear what I'm doing the entire time. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I should probably just find a way to automate everything so that we don't have to do this, but there we go. Cool. I love that compressor on anything with shells on it. Ooh boy. Yeah, this is a stock clipper right here. That's right. I don't need to spend $200 on a clipper. This thing sounds awesome. Except I'm going to need to... I need to get the gain up. Cool. So here's another thing with this Abbey Road compressor. Check it out. If you guys can get a demo, I would highly encourage it. It does a lot of weird, cool stuff. It sounds cool on bass. It sounds really cool on anytime you want to get a pumpy drum sound, on overheads or rooms. And I think it would sound really, really, really good on vocals. Because you can do 20 dB gain reduction, but it doesn't sound like they're compressed. It's this cool thing. It just it's super smooth. There. My drum tone went from garbage to pretty good. I just had to balance my stupid mix. So there's no attack on these toms. None. None at all. There we go. We're going to need to add something. I'm taking all this away, but I think this has to actually come back. See, mixing is an iterative thing. So you might make some decisions and come back later and have to make adjustments. That's totally normal. So I'm this weirdo, and I think I might be able to get away with it on this mix, but I want to show you guys something I love to do. And this is just completely my style when it comes to mixing. A lot of people don't do this. I happen to love it. I sidechain a compressor onto my cymbals because I love the sound of a really pumpy cymbal. So it's sidechained to the kick drum. And the reason I like this so much is because the way our ears, I think I've ranted about this before, but basically the way our ears work is if we have a really loud sound, we have this fluid buildup and all this stuff that happens physically to our brain and our ears. And it basically acts as like a compressor, essentially. And so when you have like a loud impact sound, everything immediately following it is like quiet, and then it comes back and it kind of has this pumping sound, this feel. So you can kind of simulate that using a compressor and sidechain to kick drum, because usually if you're at a concert, kick drums are super loud, right? And snare drums too. So I sidechain my kick and sometimes kick and snare to my cymbals, and so you can get this really like pumpy feel. And sometimes I'll just like instantiate it on a chorus if it's like a big chorus that I want to really like rock out. But like listen to the kind of vibe it gives it. Let me show you. So I'll turn the cymbals up so you can actually hear it. So if you do it way too fast, or at least it gets distorted. So the secret is timing it to the beat. So I have a cheat sheet I made. And if anybody wants this, let me know. Put your email in the chat. I can email this to you. It's kind of a cool thing. But you look at the beats per minute, so this is 148, and then I have all of the millisecond timings for the quarter note, eighth, 16th, 32nd, all those. So you can just look it up. So I should be going at like, for a 16th note, like 101 milliseconds. So I was like right there. 101.4. So this is like ballpark gonna be around the right rhythm. But you like see how it's like crazy, right? This is obviously too much, right? So let's go way back. But if you dial in the right amount, it just makes it feel like the drummer's really wailing down on everything. But I mean, this is like, I do this in all my mixes. So if you like how my mixes sound, this is probably what I'm doing.
Well, we move toward the sea to be free.
Kick drum's way too loud. Let's get the snare up and get some quick balancing going.
But all the views of waves and sand were mortgaged long ago. So we settled for...
So we can gel all this stuff together by a little bit of bus compression. I'm just going to do this quickly because we're like already out of time and I've gotten nowhere. Oh man, I suck. I went on the rant and forgot to change the stupid thing back. I'm ready for 2021. Who else is ready for 2021? In fact, cheers to 2021. Man, can't catch a break today.
Healthy men don't come round here and
So I'll just show you quickly what I was talking about here. So this is sidechained. So this is it's listening to the kick drum, and so it's doing the compression.
in that BMWs.
Cool. All right.
They took their golf clubs down the road away.
So we definitely the cymbals need more control. And so one of my favorite things to do for that is a little tape. It just really helps to smooth everything out.
And a newly abandoned stepchild has been born.
And the compression's still way too much.
Now there are homeless folks out sleeping rough and calling it their own. Now that all the
All right. Let's get a cool bass tone here. I want to know what that bass is because this is cool. And I've been really into like distorted bass recently. Like when I was in like a punk band growing up, it wasn't cool. Like it's just like you just play through a SVT and it's like kind of got a little bit of crunchy thing going, but
in their BMWs.
You know what? I'm just gonna do some really basic stuff, and it sounds pretty good. Pretty sure this is how my bass sounded back in the day.
And a newly abandoned stepchild has been born. Now they're a home.
We just want to tighten it up. Another option is to use that Waves plugin that I like so much. Let's see. So throw this guy on there. I really like this Superfuse setting. And then the limiter is nice just to make sure nothing gets too crazy.
Some say that's progress, and that's all they see. They say that's progress.
And then we just want to clean this thing up a little bit. So the mid, there's too much of this mid stuff going on. Woo! Shout out to Dave. Thanks, homie. That'll wake you up.
Raise the funds and raise the trees and dig for holes. No doubt it'll bring.
And let's just bring out a little bit of this like string sound. Kind of pull it forward a little bit. You know what? We got a better tool for that. Let's pull this down. Let's use if we use a multiband, we can just glue those frequencies together tighter and then raise them up together. It's kind of a cool thing. So we can do something like this. So it's like always. It's always louder, but it will never get like super crazy out of control. So without it, with it, it just makes it a little bit more like modern feeling. And let's do something crazy. I'm feeling crazy tonight. Let's put a chorus on the bass. Because why not?
Neighbors complain the vacant lots are overgrown. And a newly abandoned.
But now we can hear the bass. It's like full. It's locking in that low end. And it sounds modern and powerful now.
Now there are homeless folks out sleeping rough and calling it their own. Now that all the money is gone. Some say that's progress.
And then we have this awesome bass, distorted bass. Let's bring that up. And then I'm going to use the same thing I used before, that multiband. I just want to make sure we're not going to get too rowdy in the bass frequencies here. Just lock that in. All right, let's hear this pushed in.
That's progress, but I don't know. They say that's progress. What do they
We do need to glue. This needs a little bit more tightening. But these are like nuanced details.
But it's not to me, not to me. I'm sure
And this is just to fatten it up, man. I want solid, full bass.
but I don't know. They say that's progress. What do they know? Some say that's progress.
All right. I'm not even gonna worry about the bass DI, and I'm already over time, so let's hurry up and try to make these guitars sound gnarly. Hi-hats are too loud, and the drums, let's lower those. Kind of drive me crazy. They also need to... We got to get a little of that out. Ah, that's where those resonances that I was fighting earlier. All right, let's just make that a little less harsh.
Stepchild has been born. Now there are homeless folks out sleeping rough and calling it.
All right, let's just see what we're working with these guitars. Cool. That sounds awesome. You know what? I want to try. There's this one. I wonder if I have it. Yes, this axe. This is like I think Waves made this literally for a guitar, like a guitar compressor. But it's pretty cool. So I'll do something like that and copy that on both channels. Can't see anything. Here we go. So put this over to guitar left. And then we can just throw like a clipper or a limiter on it. So just do L1 because I'm lazy. And this is just making sure it's rock solid. Like, I just don't like my guitars jumping out of the mix at all. Good enough.
That's all they see. They say that's progress, but it's not to me. Not
The drums are still a little bit crazy. That'll all come.
to me.
We would tighten those up as we start getting more of this, like the tones in. So, but I'm not gonna do it tonight. We got time for that.
I'm sure they'll find a hungry, avaricious soul.
And the last thing I'm gonna do before I call it quits tonight is let's just make these vocals kind of cool. The main vocals, at least.
To raise the funds and raise the trees and dig for holes.
I want to try that. I want to try this plugin on vocals because I think it will be cool.
No doubt it'll bring the cash flow back again. And the cost, the congestion, the pollution never ends. So be careful what you wish for, 'cause it may just come about. I've seen it time and time again. It leaves me with no doubt. It's a world that's run by ruthless men, not sentimental fools.
But like, look at this. It's got 15, like almost 15 dB of gain. It doesn't sound like it.
They took their golf clubs down the road away. They found a place to start anew. And the neighbors complained.
I mean, it's a pretty cool little weird thing. Otherwise, I would use like an 1176, which is going to sound like this.
Complain the vacant lots are overgrown, and a newly abandoned stepchild has been born.
Let's listen to the other one.
Now there are homeless folks out sleeping rough and calling it their own. Now that all the money is gone. Some say that's progress, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what sounds better.
They say that's progress.
The answer is probably both of them together sound better.
Progress. What do they know? Some say that's progress, and that's all they see.
All right, and then I just usually throw a limiter just to, again, catch any stray peaks.
They say that's progress, but it's not to me, not to me. I'm sure they'll find the hungry.
And then I have a whole long, fun list of effects. But I actually don't think I need these anymore because Waves dropped this other thing recently that was really psyched on. This Ecosphere thing. It was free. Uh-oh. Did I break it? Did I break the world? Oh, no. I'm just gonna... Maybe I'm not supposed to load that plugin. Is it gonna break? I also have a review on this one too, but weird. Won't load anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe my license is weird because I got to review it and I need the actual license now. All right, well then I would go back to using all my sends.
Hungry, avaricious soul.
So let's just throw this on here.
Raise the funds and raise the trees and get holes. No doubt it'll bring the cash flow back again. And the cost, the congestion, the pollution never ends. So
there's a little bit of this low mid buildup.
be careful what you wish for, 'cause
That.
it may just come about. I've seen it time and time again. It leaves me with no doubt.
Good enough for me. That was 1 hour. Yeah, we just have a bunch of little things. Any stacks, I usually bust them all together and then group process them, just to save time and CPU. Because these kinds of things, you just tuck them in and it just adds texture and width and stuff. And yeah, there's some doubles. But these are all just like filter out the high and low and throw some things in there. And then that's basically it. We have these cool keys that I have to bring up and some pad synths. Yeah, but that's basically it. So that's my basic walkthrough for mixing a rock song. Sorry, we got in the weeds on the drums and spent so much time. I didn't really I never really had a lot of time to spend anything on the guitars or the synths, which I know some people probably wanted to see. If you had any questions, drop them in the chat, and if I see them in the next, 30 seconds or a minute or something, I'll answer them. Otherwise, make sure to check out Audio Mix Club. It's really cool. I've been saying this a lot tonight, but I really, really believe in what they're doing, and they really are helping people make better sounding music, and they're giving away $1,000 this month. So I'll submit my mix. So if you quick at mixing, you can hop in that and go head to head with me. That'd be actually really fun. So with that, I'm just gonna leave you guys with. If you haven't joined the Home Studio Fast Track, check that out. That's on Facebook. Check out YouTube tutorials I have. If you're into songwriting, I've been doing this cool new video format where I analyze new songs as they come out. We talk about like the song structure, any cool production tricks that they have. Those have been doing very well. People really like them. So check that out. That's also on my YouTube channel. And with that, I think I don't see any questions. I'm going to wrap it up here. I will give you guys a cheers to your Thursday. And hope you guys have a good Friday, a good weekend, happy holidays. And I will see you next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, or YouTube or Twitch or whatever. So with that, have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys next time.